similar to David Menzies oddly being pro-immigration in the last piece, or pro-refugee. There's a moment in this one where we're going to get some pro-Indigenous activism, but this is even more stripped of the context. And it's also against Trudeau. So you get more of this, like, they're going to, I guess, politely cover these protesters, but do so in the light that they are doing something negative to Justin Trudeau, and therefore there's like some sort of camaraderie there. Okay, that's the main sort of like element of this video. But we're also going to get Mocha yelling at Justin Trudeau, I believe. I think it's all confused from the confused, ideologically vacant reactionary contrarianism that drives people like Menzies with no ideological core. He could be pro-immigration in one breath and anti the other. They're definitely ideological. I think what confounds me the most here is that the anti-immigrant, anti-Islam stuff has been like the one common thread in most of their ideological positioning. And so that's like what's very weird to me. Becoming a lefty to own the libs. Hello, Big Shiny Takes. Everyone should go listen to Big Shiny Takes. And are you gonna do Twitch streaming yet? I also don't know which one of you is operating the Big Shiny Takes Twitch account. Don't want to be naming y'all incorrectly. But I guess we will start watching this. Do I want to jump ahead? Yeah. There it is. It's Eric. Hello, Eric. That's the plan. Well, that'll be nice. I will follow that and check it out. I saw Big Shiny Takes Institute also followed, so which one is going to be your main Twitch account? I should go follow that. So that I get your streams whenever you go live. Well, let's do this. This is we got Mocha, and Mocha is going to be yelling at the liberals in this one. So here we go.
You might remember me asking Prime Minister Justin Trudeau which media companies he paid $61 million to.
Who in the media you gave $61 million to? Who in the media you gave $61 million to? Why don't you release the list? Why is it a secret?
Given the fact that...
So I want to say, I found out what this was in regards to. When we first watched this, we were kind of confused about, like, what the fuck is he yelling? Apparently, the Liberal government released a emergency benefit that was, like, upwards to $61 million to... basically the culture industries. So it was a part of like the media bailout type funding, but it was $61 million, and it went to everyone, like from tons of people that were listed. I think Reader's Digest was one of the things listed, and I don't think of Reader's Digest as necessarily political. Are they political? So there's an element in which they're like, some of them have been kept secret, but I was like, $61 million spread out amongst all these media and cultural organizations? Is that really like enough to be like an incentive for these companies to be like, oh, we will now cover the election in a biased manner and not cover Trudeau negatively because they gave us this like tiny little bit of money from this $61 million. I watched it and I barely remember. Very weird. So yeah, it's a big silly story that's why he's yelling at Trudeau.
It's a secret. The best prediction would be to assume it was the same media companies who received $595 million from the government in 2018. And this event that unfolded in front of my eyes confirms it.
Just a shot of a car going by and people standing there.
Yeah. So I think so. We're gonna get what the connection he's gonna make here. I realize you watching this, you're going like, why did he show this? So I guess I'll do the framing already. What he's going to say is, you see all these media people. So some of them are media, and they're here to film the Justin Trudeau event. He's going to claim that the media is ignoring this protest that we're seeing right here. That all the media was right there, they're just going to completely ignore this protest. Now, I support these protesters, I think, for the most part. We don't get to hear a lot of what they say, but I think I agree with them based on some of the things that they say. But they put out messaging, or at least Mocha put out messaging, saying that they blocked this bus. I don't know that is what is going on here. I mean, it's clear that they're standing in front of it and the police are going to get involved and it's annoying. But, like, I don't think they, like, blocked the bus from moving. So he's going to claim that these activists blocked this bus and all the media just sat there and did nothing. They didn't even film it or make a story about it because they love Justin Trudeau. I think that's the narrative he's trying to spin here. Okay? So
Sure.
we're going to assess to what extent that accurately portrays what happened here.
That unfolded in front of my eyes confirms it. Let me tell you what happened on August 19 in Vancouver Island, which the media you are compelled to pay for refused to show it to you. I arrived to the event and filled the form just like...
Just wait. Every time I see them,
I arrived Island, which the media you are...
You know what? Mocha is the best addition to Rebel News.
Yeah, he's so good. I can't wait until he becomes a supervillain. Like,
why? Like, that's the weird part about him is he frames himself as a villain. Why? Why do you want to portray yourself as the villain? Like, that makes no sense. No. Like, he's wearing all black and he's just, ooh, yeah. What are they doing? Oh my god.
my god.
Mocha, Jesus.
Are compelled to pay for refused to show it to you. I arrived to the event and filled the form just like everyone else, but was asked to leave by the property manager, who said that she had to ask me to leave.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Well, my son was there too. I'm Brenda, and this is a private event, so we will have to ask you to leave, please, sir.
Why?
Because this is a private event, sir, and it's only invited guests.
Well, I came here as media, and I wanted to ask some questions to Justin Trudeau. So you're not going to allow me to do that?
My understanding is that we need to ask you to leave, sir.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you very much.
How about other media? Because I filled the information, she filled the information. Why am I being asked to leave, but not her?
My understanding, sir, is
Yeah, that's weird. 2020-0109? I mean, that just could be his.
Come on. Come on, Mocha, learn how to work a camera. Like,
Because what is it saying? It's January 9th, 2020?
yeah.
I don't know, that's weird.
it's only invited guests, and this is private property.
Wow. That was no surprise to me, given that I'm not their media.
If you can stay here, it's great. Just, I'm going to bring my media closer a bit, but I would like you to stay here.
Your media? I went there to document this event and ask him a couple of questions related to his latest speeches.
I don't know. When I think about the biggest, most important economic policy this government, if re-elected, would move forward, you'll forgive me if I don't think about monetary policy.
But once again, since I was not allowed to ask it properly, I had to yell.
What I guess this is the first time that we've talked about Vienna. What do you think about Justin Trudeau saying that he doesn't pay attention to monetary policy? Are you there? Did you?
I mean, it's kind of telling. Like, it is a very, like, yeah, business will continue as usual type of thing. I guess.
That, like, that's sort of like my critique of it, but it is weird how like the conservative line is like they know nothing about money. And I think your interpretation of it is much better, where it's like it's a kind of hands-off approach. Let the capitalists keep capitalism, and I don't have to worry about it kind of position, you know? This is apparently the
Yeah,
only
that's
mocha that Nick approves of.
isn't that person wearing a mocha apron, so it's not even the person, it's just that he was making mocha or works at a mocha place.
This must be some sort of TV reference I am not aware of.
Yeah. Mocha Joe, sure.
That
Brit.
clarifies it. But yeah, I just love that they're like, oh, what did it restart? Oh, yes, this whole, it's like,
Moved videos.
Trudeau is economically ignorant. It's like, he probably is economically ignorant, but I can't wait to hear the question Mocha yells. The question this time, yeah, we'll hear it. I don't think it's as good. The first one was great because it was involved too much that it's not, you know, if you're going to yell a question, you need it to be like a tiny question, just brief, like, boop. So let's see what he yells.
Prime Minister, do you know the meaning of inflation?
That's pretty
Why
good.
should the poor vote for you when your policies are creating inflation?
To counter the
Yeah, that was pretty good. Do you know what inflation means? Yeah, okay. What is the meaning of inflation? Okay, sure. I mean, again, it annoys me that they're going to be pro austerity and think that inflation is happening here and we need to like stop spending all that fun stuff. But it's pretty funny given the context. What were you going to say, Vienna?
I don't know. I don't remember where I was going with it. I had some sort of joke, but it has escaped me.
The joke has left.
the she session and turn it into a she-covery.
What does shikovery
That does.
mean? What's
Oh,
the
God.
meaning of shikovery?
I did not get an answer.
What's the meaning of she-covery? What? Oh my god. Yeah, what, like, sure. Sure.
Answer from the PM.
Sure.
So I asked the
Whatever.
Liberal staffer.
Do you know the meaning of shikovery?
Shikovery?
Yeah. What does that mean?
Shikovery?
Yeah.
That's not a word.
Yes. Well, Justin Trudeau used it just yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said shikovery and then
It was
he
an
said she-session.
anti-masker protest next to
What
him.
are the meanings of these words?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, nobody knows. The whole nation wonders. And I want
The whole nation
Oh.
wonders. Everyone is sitting at home perplexed about what she-covery means. Like,
That's the first time that I've actually seen like a clip from that video or that speech that he did.
no, like he uses these words a lot actually. So whoa, Simone. All right, you can get your
Simone.
you can get your attention. Oh, you know the camera's that way, but you can just.
Simone, emo, when?
Oh, her nails are in my back. What was I gonna say? This has been like several clips that they've used where they either say like she session or she covery. And the thing that annoys me because he's like, what does it mean? I mean, it's clearly a pun on the fact that during this pandemic, the recession has affected women more in that they often are the ones who are normalized to be the caretakers to stay home with the kids. So therefore, they're losing job opportunities and monetary gains that men on average are getting more of. That's all Trudeau was doing there. I agree it's kind of silly to like come up with puns for this. I'm not sure if coming up with puns is the right like move here, but really that's all he's saying. Is that really, like, to me, it's like, that's cool. Why not? Sure. Do I think the Liberals have the best plan? I mean, we won't have the chicanery because apparently we're not going to get daycare for another 28 years. I mean, sure, they say 5 years, but that's only to get us to the next election, and then we'll still have to wait forever. All right, can I put you down yet?
Are they saying 5 years still?
So their new plan, they're running on right now that we'll get daycare in 5 years. $10 a day daycare in 5 years.
Okay, yeah.
That's
No,
the
that's... I think that's the NDP plan as well, though, where it's like... It starts off with, like, national daycare and, like... Or starts off with, like, more controlled pricing and then moves to $10 a day over time.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
don't know.
not like
There's a question.
they're not going to do anything, or they're just going to form a committee to think about it and then do it in 5 years. It's
Yeah,
from my understanding.
I mean, the NDP, it's one thing. My criticism, even if the Liberals, I just don't think the Liberals are going to do it in 5 years. They've been saying they're going to be doing it since the 90s, and they still haven't done it. So that's sort of my...
Yeah. Oh no, I doubt it. Especially if they get a minority again, then they'll be like, "Oh, we didn't have power because we didn't want to negotiate with the NDP."
And Two Cars makes a good point here. Well, it takes at most 1 year to set up. I mean, like, already we have in many localities and municipalities subsidies for people in poverty to get cheaper daycare. So when I was a student, we had our daycare was subsidized for our kids. And so it's like we already have things in place within the daycare structure that could handle and process this quite easily if they wanted to just have the foresight to do it. I think what they often bank on, or the reasons why they don't go ahead and do it, is they claim it has to do with legality having to do with the provinces. And so, like, their 5-year plan is to get the provinces on board or something. But, I don't know. To me, it also shows a lack of creativity to try something, see if the provinces sue, and it goes to the Supreme Court or whatever. You know what I mean? And then, like, that's something you can do now in hopes to, like... And you know what doing that does? It makes it a public issue, keeps it fresh in people's minds, and might put pressure on the local provincial governments to actually start adopting some of these policies by making it like such a public fight. I mean, there's so many things that the Liberals could do to make this a more prominent issue, and they just refuse to do it because they're Liberals. They're Liberals. Capacity is a big issue. Yeah, it could be. But if we can operate a school system, daycare by 2057, please. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
As this woman was yelling vaccine-related concerns, unfortunately we cannot air what she yelled because otherwise YouTube will delete our channel. Liberal staffers formed a line in front of her, and the more she yelled, the more the staffers cheered and clapped.
I love this comparison here.
What do you say for the... What do you say
Oh
for
my god.
because of a CDC in the who?
Why won't you let me orally take
CDC and the WHO.
Yeah. I wonder what she's yelling. Dear Lord.
Prime Minister Trudeau! Answer for your actions!
God.
As you try to raise your concerns, the Liberal Party members, they formed a blockade in front of you, and as you were trying to
I just got
That
louder.
fluoride
they
stare.
were raising their voices, they were cheering and clapping.
Who has the fluoride stare? These people in the back? What
No,
has-
her. I was just making a joke.
What is this? Humans over math?
As more you raise your voice, the more they cheered and clapped.
Yes.
Isn't that a form of censorship?
Yeah, it is a form of censorship, actually. It is a
Yeah,
form of censorship.
laugh all you want. Laugh all you want. I
All
came.
voices should be
Laugh
heard
all
in
you
this
want.
country.
What's your
Not
name?
just one
What's your
people.
name? Laugh all you want. I came from Turkey, and this is the same
Oh, yeah.
thing the Turkish president's bodyguards do
to protesters. They yell at them so that they don't raise their concerns, so they won't be heard. Ha ha ha.
fuck?
They laughed. But I didn't say anything funny. This
Ha ha ha.
This guy
They
got
laughed.
Oscar, but I didn't say anything funny.
their concerns, so they won't be heard.
ha ha ha. They laughed. But I didn't say anything funny.
Can we get a clip of the ha ha ha, please?
Oh, we gotta get the ha ha ha, and then the Andrew Capitos one from last time.
Oh my god, that was so good. I was trying to remember what it was last time.
Was it like, hey man, or so? I can't remember. It was hey something.
Yeah. It was the music, the lake, and then
Yeah.
hey man.
So
Or like, hey guys.
what he's going to show is true. There are incidents where the Turkish government, in protesting people, or when people come to protest them when they visit other countries, the Turkish guards will like loudly drown out the protesters, kind of thing. Like that is something that happens, and like yeah, Erdogan is crappy, and it's his bodyguards have gotten in fights in other countries too. Like they're not great, but it's weird to compare that to like people clapping to drown you out. Like these aren't the same things.
I'm so confused by Mocha. Like, I really wonder what his politics are in the Turkish context. Is he farther right than Erdogan? Like, that? Like,
I don't know.
this is pretty hard. Pretty hard to be that far right.
I think you could just play off the kind of like anti-Middle East sentiment, which is, I think, why he fits in. It's just weird. I don't understand the dynamics.
Yeah.
I really
I'm
don't.
so confused by him.
And the way that he's acting, like I don't know. I don't know. It feels to me like he's really young and he's trying to find a way to fit in. That's what it feels to me.
Yeah.
And he's like, these people are paying me to be this weird person in these videos. I don't know, because there's moments like, remember when he was punched in the face by the Israeli protester as well?
Yeah.
Like, there's just moments where I'm like, yeah, I don't know if he just might not have his whole like political view like shaped yet, which is like makes me sad. Him being a part of this network. But let's watch these Turkish bodyguards do stuff.
This is in fact a tactic that is regularly employed by Turkish president's army of bodyguards towards protesters. In any event,
I like it.
as I was waiting for the Prime Minister to come back to his...
I don't like it because, well, it reminded me of, I don't know that I have the video anymore. I might have gotten it off of this computer specifically, but we had, when Pegida used to do shit out in front of City Hall, we would often go, while they had like their speaker and loud phones and was like spreading anti-Islam bullshit, we would go in front of them and bang pots and pans to completely drown them out. Very similar tactic. And it's not censorship, it's not pro, or it's not...
No, you were censoring Pegida.
Yeah. The other funny thing is, like, there's a difference, too, with, like, people using that as a strategy, and, like the government using it as a strategy. You know, it's weird when the Ford administration paid their, like, or told their MPs to clap in a way which, like, silenced other people. They were doing that at a few events, I remember. I can't remember the context, but the conservatives under Doug Ford were doing shit like that. And so it's weird seeing, like, the government, the power structures using techniques like that. But it's different when you have, like, random staffers or, like, us as activists using that technique. Like, I just feel like it's different. And here's the thing, it's like, I don't usually support the liberals, but like drowning out that anti-vaxxer, 100%. Drown them the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Um.
Connor, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Um. Nom. Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering. Like, I wonder if he's a like just classic Kemalist type of thing in Turkey, where he's supportive of the secular state, but still like pretty right wing and racist
I don't know if
within the Turkish context.
I don't know
Like,
if I've heard him identify as anything, but I know Ezra has referred to him as a Muslim. But like the way he
I mean,
said
yeah,
it,
but
I think Ezra said it was like, I don't know if he's a Muslim, but he's probably Muslim. I think is the context in which he used it.
yeah, like he's Turkish.
Yeah.
Chances are he is at least nominally Muslim. Like, but that's that's different than like actually practicing or like
Yeah.
supporting the Erdogan regime. Like,
Yeah. I don't know.
I think we should start calling every government regimes, though. I really like
Regime?
that
Yeah.
phrasing. Yeah, the Trudeau regime, like,
I approve. We're now going to get to the Indigenous protest aspect of this campaign stop. So, here goes.
Bus for departure, a group of Indigenous rights protesters showed up who challenged Trudeau's legitimacy.
Actually, I'll change my mind here. They may have held up the bus a little bit if this is Justin Trudeau getting on the bus right now. Before,
yeah.
I might have missed that before. So maybe Mocha, there's a tinge of a point that Mocha's going to make here, in that the media did not cover this. But
Yeah. Mocha, my brother in Islam.
yeah.
You are such an unsafe person on this land. Your power is illegitimate, and the police around you are illegitimate. You have no power on Scotland.
Hell yeah.
Based. Wait, oh.
God.
Did Mocha say
The
that?
yelling just ending and them being able to, like, I didn't hear what they said.
So, when she's done yelling, you can hear a voice. I didn't catch if it's Mocha, but you could hear someone say, I don't know about that, but okay, or something like that. Here. Oh, I don't know about that, but anyways. No, it doesn't sound like Mocha.
Oh.
Anyways, what were you gonna say, Vienna?
Oh no, it was just, I was also listening. It doesn't sound like Mocha.
Yeah.
Oh, see, the bus tried to move there.
Yeah, interesting.
Do not push on my body. Do not touch my body. Do not touch her. Do not touch my body.
I think I used to follow that lady on Insta.
Yeah. Pardon? You need to, or you do?
I think I used to follow, when I had Instagram. I don't have it. I haven't had it in like 2 or 3 years, but she's a protester out in like BC, I think. Generally. I don't remember where this was. Oh yeah, no, this was based in BC, wasn't it? It was like Vancouver
Yes,
or something.
Vancouver, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it makes sense.
The weird thing about this is because we have clips. It's one clip that I like to play and repeat of Ezra saying that he doesn't condone it, but he completely understands if people just drive through the Indigenous blockades that were happening, okay, with their cars.
Yeah.
Like, he was totally in support of that. And so there's a weird element here in which this is something that his audience has been primed to be against. Indigenous people holding up traffic. But again, you see there's this weird connection with the fact that this is being used against the Liberal Party. So there's this other narrative that they've been primed on, which is Ezra also frequently uses the clip of the... in fact, we'll just play it. Ezra frequently uses this clip. Let me pull it up here. Sure, it'll pop up here. And I'll have to minimize this. Pull it up.
And we came forward with a different approach. An approach that said the way to grow a strong economy in the 21st century is by making sure that everyone has a real and fair chance to succeed. That we invest in the middle class and in people working hard to join it. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you.
People in grassy narrows are suffering from mercury poisoning.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much for your donation tonight. I really appreciate the donation to the Liberal Party of Canada. And as we know...
I hate him so much.
So, when we first started covering the Rebel on the podcast, and Ezra keeps using this clip to be negative against Trudeau, and it always struck me as weird when this was first happening, because I was surprised at how, again, Ezra was promoting these Indigenous activists and was shaming the Liberals for, because in particular what they said there was Grassy Narrows. This was about the fact that Grassy Narrows is still one of the places that does not have adequate water. Their water supply is tainted with mercury, which was through the effluent from the mining that was occurring. It's in northern Ontario, and
it was paper mill.
Paper mill, and so
Isn't it?
No, I thought it was mining. Pretty sure it was mining. But it was like through the chemicals that cracked the rocks or whatever. But they like dumped it in the river ways and like lakes on the reserve. Or near the reserve, but it goes through the reserve. Anyways, yeah, paper mill? Okay, maybe it was a paper mill. Either way. However, their area was polluted. And Ezra, is even something that he still does to this day, is complain that Trudeau has not helped fix the water on these reserves. But the weird part about that is that, like, again, when I said that Ezra also promotes running over the Indigenous activists, like, that's the other end of it, where it's like, it seems like Ezra only supports these people when they're criticizing Trudeau. And if they're criticizing companies, like the people who want to build the pipeline, that's when he gets upset. And when they're blocking rail traffic, that's when he gets upset. But if they're criticizing Liberals, he seems to be okay with it. So there's like, don't take anything that we're seeing here to mean that like Rebel cares about Indigenous issues. They don't. It's kind of like what I wanted to frame here. But I also wanted to play this to be like, yes, Justin Trudeau is a piece of shit. He is an utter disgraceful piece of shit. And I'm surprised that we keep voting for him. Or other Canadians keep voting for him. Like, imagine responding to someone going, look, my community doesn't have clean drinking water because our government, the government of Canada, polluted their waters or allowed companies to come in and pollute those waters and then hasn't done anything to ameliorate that situation. And then his response is to go, thank you for donating to get in here to protest my campaign. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
If the Prime Minister can talk to us, that would be helpful. Please document this. We are unarmed. We are not touching these officers.
Oh my God.
We are not doing anything illegal.
Address
This is
Mocha.
public property. And on top of that, this is unceded land. We are allowed to gather where we want to gather. When we want to gather. We are allowed to gather where we want to gather. When we want to gather. These cops do not get to tell us where we stand. This land is unceded, and that patch on you, that Stannis police patch, is illegitimate. Like your authority. Like your authority. It's illegitimate. I'm gonna stand here. This is where I want to stand right now. This is where I feel like standing. Beautiful. Great. I'm just gonna keep
There's
standing
another
here.
way around.
Can't do that.
We'll get there.
He's asking. You've seen and heard.
Totally based, by the way. Hell yeah, hold up that campaign bus.
So I don't do that, but I'm on the sidewalk.
This is a reminder because I don't know what these cops are going to do next to me, but I just want to remind you that Justin Trudeau is in this bus right here, and we're standing in front of it. All we are doing is standing in front of this bus. Nothing that we are doing is illegal. Nothing we are doing is violent. I have nothing on me that could harm him.
He didn't even acknowledge them, listen to their grievances.
Just say hello. Just give us a few words about what he's doing here. And if he's paying attention to the old growth logging, that's it. It's really simple. I have nothing on me. I'm not going to hurt him. I just want to be acknowledged. I want to be heard.
It reminds me as
See,
what
Trudeau would be so smart to just go meet him, go meet this person, and be like, "Oh yeah, we listen to your concerns, blah 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 blah," and then just like dip.
it reminds me of when Black Lives Matter activists did a similar thing to Bernie Sanders' campaign, and Bernie Sanders allowed them to speak and talk to them. Like that is how you address this, I think, if you're someone who cares. Which, like, I think what we're getting at here is Trudeau doesn't give a shit. Trudeau doesn't give a shit at all. But again, like,
Yeah, like it's interesting, right? Because he's like Trudeau has done stuff like this before, where he just like goes and meets the protesters, or like when BLM blocked Pride and Trudeau sent representatives being like, "The Prime Minister will see you," and the BLM Toronto people were just like, "What the fuck are you talking about? We're blocking Pride because they're racist assholes." Like,
yeah. I don't know, like...
when it's not about him, then he'll be like, "Oh yeah, time to make it about me." But I guess this one's about him, so...
But even when he kneeled during Black Lives Matter, like, it was so... like, staged and scripted in a lot of ways. Or when, even at the recent, like, residential school burials that have been found. And he, like, laid the teddy bear at the thing or whatever.
God.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if they're just catching on to like the fact that like, that hasn't worked recently, but also like they're still using it on campaign imagery for the BLM stuff at least.
Yeah. No, they used both, I think, in the recent
know.
ad. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. They're just so fucking all over the place.
And they suck.
Yeah.
Instead, he just looked away and hid inside the bus for half an hour.
The violence they ensue! The violence they ensue! Do you see how tiny I am? This is what they do! We say that's poor, that is sad, because their spirits have been rid of their body. They are not even human anymore!
That's right. Look at the vacant stare of a non-human right here. I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
Resign.
This man is not even human anymore!
Unless
they perpetuate the violence of this country!
Oh, they're referring to Trudeau fully.
Country! And he sits in his bus and dismisses us as if we're not right in front of him!
But
what if he just like goes on his phone
media,
during these moments? Like, what's he do?
Yeah, I don't know. He's in the Campaign Plus playing Angry Birds or...
Yeah.
You think all police officers should be jazz musicians? Explain yourself, Nick.
that this is a progressive and tolerant leader who pays great attention to Indigenous issues.
That was on my reserve, where he laid those flowers and that teddy bear. He did that for a photo op. The people from my reserve are uncomfortable.
Just carrying on that legacy of Papa Trudeau, of assimilation and genocide. It has not ended with Justin Trudeau.
Both the previous story and then this story are blowing my mind to the extent in which they're letting these people talk and then not criticizing them. They've been pushing this isn't genocide. They've had segments on their podcast which are them trying to explain away everything having to do with residential schools. And yet they're promoting this person who just explained that these people are currently committing a genocide. It's just a little weird. It's a little shocking. Me listening to their content all the time, this feels shocking to me. I don't know what to do with this right now. I'll have to give it a few more thoughts, but just very shocking.
And it may not be called the white paper, but he's definitely inserting and asserting all that whiteness onto these territories. And instead of trying to eliminate the Indian Act, it is a new form of assimilation, and that comes in respectability politics and reconciliation era.
There were dozens of journalists there,
wow.
and some that traveled with Justin Trudeau. But every single one of them all of a sudden disappeared. I was there, recording, with both of my hands at times. But the media that Justin Trudeau bribed with your own money not only failed to document this, but they also refused to show my clips that
I will say, just look at the fucking soulless stare of this human being. Police are scum. I'll just throw that out there.
I published 2 hours later from the incident.
See, that's the other. So it says Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had his bus blocked by Indigenous rights protesters on Vancouver Island. After blocking his bus for about 35 minutes, the PM was evacuated from the bus by security. Full story coming soon. Help support our election coverage. Okay. Again, playing that full clip, showing the stuff, it's just like there's an element in which it's just weird to me that like it's clearly they're trying to be anti-Trudeau. That's why they're doing this. Notice like they're not necessarily going into the details for agreeing with these people, but they let their voices be heard without countering them, which is kind of unique for Rebel, I guess.
What if I DM Mocha and ask him about Turkish politics?
Yeah. I guess go for it. Try it out. Don't go too deep though. Be careful.
Not give a about Indigenous people.
Justin, why don't you engage with the protesters?
Justin Trudeau does not give a about Indigenous people or old growth.
And on top of that,
100%.
they said that it never happened and it was completely fake news. In spite
Yeah, fuck David Aiken. That's fuck David Aiken, man. Aiken. It's like you see a clip of them blocking the bus, and then this dude's just like, it's completely fake news. It never happened. This is one instance where I can honestly say, I'm pretty sure this really happened. You know? Sure, Rebel News, not the most trusted source of news, but journalist David Aiken is a fucking idiot.
of the video evidence. And once I published a time-lapse of the half-an-hour-long incident, showing that it occurred, and it was not fake news, David Akin, chief political correspondent for Global News, instead of retracting and apologizing to his viewers for lying, blocked me on Twitter.
Sure. David Aiken sucks. What can I say?
So, in conclusion, you were forced to pay for these media organizations which either refused or failed to capture a critical story happening at the event that they were at. But despite me capturing the event, either refused or failed to air it on the telly. And on top of all this, they lied to you by saying it never happened, that it was fake news.
He blocked you too? He'd probably block me if I ever interacted with him. I've had like responded to some David Aiken stuff before. The guy is just a hack. No, he is 100% a hack. He's often a punching bag for Ezra too. Ezra can't stand him because he tends to toe the Liberal Party line. Now, of course, they get to use that and say that this is clearly the mainstream media towing the party line because the Liberal government gave them the media bailout thing. But it becomes a confirmation bias at that point. Because as much as I think that this guy leans towards being pro-liberal, I'm pretty sure, is he not the one that got handed the poutine by Justin Trudeau in the last election? I think that might be David Aiken. But as much as you can point to this example of here's a mainstream media person who is pro-liberal, you can find tons of mainstream media sources that receive some of the bailout funds that cover the liberals more critically. So it's all just confirmation bias bullshit. Vienna was going to unmask Mocha as a Gulenist. I'm going to look to see the poutine incident. But you can say something.
That's just like a movement in Turkey.
Oh, I know who that is.
It's a like spiritual movement, but like also possibly inspired the 2016 coup attempt.
That was the people that how do I say it? It was Gulen was the guy who's living in America right now that Michael Flynn was sort of like tasked with kidnapping or some shit. Do you remember this?
I think so. Yeah, I'm sure. Honestly, I don't remember.
Because I'm pretty sure Gulen is in America right now. Are you
guys kidding me?
Oh, who followed? Haas00312. Thanks for following. I'm pretty sure that Gulen was the guy. He's in America after he left because he's being targeted by Erdogan. But there was some Michael Flynn, who then was pardoned by Donald Trump, although he initially was in Donald Trump's government. Michael Flynn was paid by the Erdogan government, some weird thing, to basically kidnap Gulen and send it back to Turkey. Which all came out when they were investigating him. Yes, he's in Pennsylvania. Yeah. I can't get the damn vent to shut off while trying to record my podcast. Well, why are you listening to us and recording your podcast?
As if all
Vent?
this was
Like Among Us?
Yeah. Something sus. I was just followed by them too. Somehow they have 20k followers but don't produce any content. Sus? Oh, the person that just followed me, Haas00312. It could be a bot. And if it's a bot, then Twitch will just remove them eventually.
wasn't enough, they refused to report you the truth. There is a legendary Turkish joke that is very similar to this situation.
Here we go.
One day, Nasrettin Hoca was on his way to the Pazar. Children from the village shouted at him, "Please, buy us whistles from the Pazar." The Hoca told them, "All right, I promise, I'm going to buy them." "Please, take this money, Hoca, and buy me a whistle," one of the children said. In the late afternoon, the children greet the Hoca, who was returning from the Pazar. "Hoca, where are our whistles? Have you got our whistles?" The Hoca took only one whistle from his pocket and gave it to the kid, who gave him the money. As other children were shouting, "What about us? Where's our whistle?" Nasrettin Hoca smiles and says, "Who pays for the whistle gets to blow the whistle." But I think our situation is even funnier than this legendary Turkish joke.
It's a legendary Turkish joke. Who pays for the whistle buys the whistle. It's just, hilarious.
Yes. Their Turkish jokes are known for being long and circuitous and having no real, punchline. Maybe it works better in Turkish. I don't know. Maybe Mocha's just not funny.
Yeah.
That's the issue here.
And it was David Cochran with the poutine. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, I mean, it was back in 2019. It was just I remembered that story. And I know Aiken is definitely one of the people that Ezra does go on about, but I just couldn't remember if he was the poutine guy or not.
I really think Mocha videos are my favorite now, I gotta say.
Yeah. His so far the election stuff, for sure. Yeah, no, it's interesting. Well, at first he wasn't in front of the camera. He was mostly just doing the videography for David Menzies. So him moving out in front, quite interesting. Quite interesting.
Yeah.
Because we're the ones who pay for the whistle, yet it's Justin Trudeau who gets to blow it. For Rebel News, I'm Mocha Bezirgan.
I think there's a
By biting their tongue
Got him.
in order to further a political agenda, they have yet again betrayed your trust and their profession. Not me. I have no horse in the race. If you want to support Real Reporters, go to realreporters.ca to cover our expenses. Your donation is appreciated.
Oh, Mocha. It's yeah, he's I don't want him to break my heart and become super fash, but I feel like it's in his future.
Hello, my rebels. Hello, my rebels. I'm a good boy. I'm a weirdo.